The Martian Souls sang a hymn of true Christian love, which welcomed the great Florentine poet and his muse to the fifth heaven. Then they turned to silent prayer. As they prayed, they confessed that "'tis well that without end he should lament, who for the love of thing that doth not last eternally explodes him of that love." Canto 15, 10 through 12. In the same way that lightning flashing through a clear sky takes the attention of someone, a soul from the right arm fell to the ground toward Dante. This soul was like burning alabaster and approached Dante in a way similar to how per Aeneid 686, Aeneas' father greeted him. The soul cried out, "O my blood, O grace of God poured onto you, who has heaven's gate open ever twice like it has for you." Canto 15:20. The great Florentine poet was so bewildered by the words of the soul that he turned around to Beatrice as if to get a confirmation. The soul's words had made him understand that this was an answer. The soul continued speaking about matters where Dante omitted writing about. This omission was derived from the fact that the words of the soul transcended Dante's understanding. The only thing he could fathom was the opening of this soul. Benedict be thou, O trine and one, who has unto my seed so cursed been. 15 or Canto 15:47 through 48. The soul continued by saying that after viewing for hope to see Dante, who was brought by Beatrice on his journey. He also stated that the great Florentine poet did not have to know his identity nor why he was so elated to see Dante. In closing, he wanted to hear Dante speak and boldly ask whatever he wanted. Dante turned back to Beatrice. Her smile reinforced his strength. In heaven, it seems like souls were able to have a feeling counterbalanced by a thought. Dante, as he was still incarnate, was unable to have such an equivalence. He apologized for his inability and asked for the identity of the The soul was that of J.R.R. He was baptized as an infant in the baptistry of St. John. Upon reaching the correct age, he married a woman who had the surname Alighieri. When he reached his late 40s, Cassius served under Emperor Conrad III of Germany, who belonged to the Hohenstaufen dynasty during the Second Crusade. While fighting, he was made a knight by Emperor Conrad III. During the siege of Damascus, Cassius fell in battle, leaving behind his sons Protestant and Alighieri de Casagudia married and became the father of the Conde de Alighieri. The Conde de Alighieri grew up and married and eventually became the father of the Conde. Alighieri de Conde in turn grew up, married, and eventually became the father of Dante. Therefore, Casagudia was the great-great-grandfather of Dante. Informed Dante that Alighieri de Casagudia, or Dante's great-grandfather, was upon the first terrace of Mount Purgatory. As he wished his son to come to heaven sooner than they spend there, Dante's great-great-grandfather asked him to pray for the repose of Dante's great-grandfather's soul, so that his sentence Castillo transitioned to comparing the Florence of his day versus that of Dante's time. The walls of Florence that I knew about were erected in 1078. It was inside those walls that the church of San Stefano in Badia was located, which would time the hours of the day. These chimes would be heard all over the city, which was houses. In these houses lived the Florentine women who were modest in their jewels and clothing. Likewise, Florentine fathers' daughters were at peace because the marriage age was higher and the dowry price was lower than it was in Dante's time. Florentine wives all and took care of their children. They would teach their children of Troy, Rome, and Sicily to demonstrate how benevolent, upstanding, and modest the citizens were. Captain Goodyear gave us examples of Bethry, a man who could be seen dressed in a modest leather and bone belt. His wife, who was known for her natural beauty, gave birth to Godavra Bethry. Similarly, the heads of the Vitekki families exhibited virtue in labor instead of becoming arrogant in their Over a century later, Florence has seen their women become prideful and immodest in their jewels and clothing. Likewise, Florentine fathers and daughters lived fearfully, as the marriage age was lower and higher than it was. The only other city that was vainer and more arrogant than Florence was Rome. To demonstrate how corrupted and divided the populace of the modern Florence had become, the example of Cigatella, the widowed daughter of Arrigo della Tosa, was given. After her husband died, she had become a woman of immorality, which matched the type of women that permeated the Tuscan city. Another example was that of Lapo, a contemporary of and fellow poet of Dante, was morally upright. He served currently as one and had been condemning citizens who cooperated with Pope Boniface